Section 1. WR Diesel Engine Brief Introduction. WR Series diesel engine is a 4-stroke, water-cooled, vertical and direct injection combustion chamber type engine. This series engine is an optimally designed, upgraded engine on the basis of British Ricardo technology, in combination with the target market requirements at home and abroad. This engine is made with features of big torque storage, good start performance, and low fuel consumption, whose reliability and using time reach the advanced level of the same series product. Section 2. Main structure, characteristics, and functions. 1. The cylinder head assembly. The cylinder head contains the inlet exhaust, valves, and valve operating maximum, and the injectors. Its main function is to seal the cylinders and bring about the compression of the intake air. It also contains the channels for the intake air and exhaust gases. The intake air enters the cylinders in the spiral fashion, which will cause high turbulence, and this produces more efficient ignition and thereby greater economic performance. 2. Cylinder block assembly. The cylinder block assembly consists of the cylinder liner, the gears case, main bearing covers, the oil sump, and the flywheel housing. Cylinder block assembly constitute the engine skeleton, and all moving parts and related systems are held on it. 3. Camshaft assembly. The camshaft assembly consists of camshaft, valve tapes, valve push rods. Its function is to open and close the intake and exhaust valves in sequence to control the flow of intake and exhaust gases. 4. The piston and connecting rod assembly. Within the force cycle, the piston moves up and down in cylinder to, firstly, create compression and combustion in the compression chamber, and to transmit the energy through the connecting rod to the crankshaft. The piston rings form and seal, which prevents the oil from sump getting into combustion chamber and prevent gases escaping into the sump. 5. Crankshaft flywheel assembly. The crankshaft and flywheel assembly consist of the crankshaft, flywheel, and the flywheel gear. Its function is to transform the energy created by the pistons to the transmission system. 6. Transmission system. The energy transmission system consists of the external V-belt drive and gear case. Its function is to convert the rotational energy of the crankshaft to allow the various attachment systems to be operated. 7. Intake and exhaust system. The intake and exhaust system consists of the air intake pipe, air filter, exhaust pipe, and turbocharger. Its function is the inlet of fresh air, discharge of waste gases. The supercharger's function is to increase the air pressure and volume of the intake air to the cylinders to increase the output air of the engine. 8. Fuel system assembly. Fuel system assembly consists of fuel delivery pump, the injection assembly, and the fuel filter. Its function is to inject high-pressure fuel into combustion chamber in medium quantities and timing to control the performance of the engine. 9. Lubrication system. Its function is to provide the lubrication for various moving parts of the engine to reduce friction, assist cooling, cleaning, and guard against corrosion. 10. Cooling system. Cooling system constitutes a water pump, fan, radiator, foot step, and oil cooler. Its function is to maintain the engine at the correct operating temperature. 11. Electrical system. The electrical system consists of a battery, start motor, voltage regulator, silicon rectified autometer. Its function is to provide and maintain necessary electricity to stop the engine and supply energy for other electrical accessories. Section 3. Preparation before starting. 1. Before starting the engine, make a complete check of the diesel engine. Especially pay attention to security and reliability of every bottom of the machine, the flexibility of every transmission part and operating system. Check the flexibility of governor handle and shutdown handle. Fix any problem that is found. 2. The cooling system. Check the cooling system to ensure sufficient coolant. Clean soft water should be used, such as tap water, river water, and rainwater. If using the well water, the water may contain mineral substance and should be processed before use. Otherwise, the engine channels can be blocked with deposit, causing overheating which may lead to a major failure. 3. Check the sample oil in level of the lubricating oil and add if necessary. Also check the lubricating oil of filter pump and air filter. Do not overfill sample oil. Maintain the oil level between the marks on the dipstick. If there is too much oil, the big ends of the connecting rod and balance of the flywheel will tip the oil and increase the oil temperature and increase the sump case pressure. This will reduce the efficiency of the engine. Oil splashes on the cylinder walls may enter into the combustion chambers. This will cause the oil burning. If the oil level is too low, air will be sucked into the lubricating system, causing oil pressure to drop. This will cause loss of lubrication. Crankshaft bearings will be burned out in a short time. 2. Check the lubricating oil level of the oil pumps. There are two lubricating systems for the diesel fuel pump: forced lubrication and oil lubrication. Forced lubrication. The oil through oil pump to the fuel pump and returns to the sump through the flange of the oil pump. The lubrication oil flow is automatically controlled. An oil pipe delivers the oil from the cylinder block to the fuel pump. Oil lubricating. On the top of the fuel pump, speed regulator. Remove the vent and add oil when necessary. The body of the diesel pump is equipped with lubrication oil, the spacing screw, and oil drying screw. The lubricating oil level is to the bottom of the spacing screw. Replacement cycle is the same as the engine sample oil. Check the oil level of the oil path type filter according to the inspection schedule. The oil type is the same as the engine oil. If the oil level is especially low, impurities will not pass through the filter and will into the cylinders. This will increase wear in the cylinder jack and piston rings. The service life will be reduced. If the air filter oil level is especially high, oil will be sumped in with the intake air and affect combustion. It will also cause heavy smoke in the exhaust gases. The lubricating oil should be LECD level, diesel engine machine oil, or the equivalent. Choose the correct grade of lubricating oil according to the operating temperature and working conditions. Refer to the menu for the required grades of oil. Leaks, burns, or damages may occur to the crankshaft bearings. Section 4. Starting the engine. 1. Put the acceleration table to the position for supplying more oil. When the engine starts, immediately release the key to avoid damage to the start motor or flywheel ring gear. 2. Do not run the starter for more than 10 seconds in order to prevent damage to the start motor and the battery. If it doesn't start, wait 2 minutes to allow the battery to recover. and the start motor to cool. If it doesn't start after 3 attempts, check for possible reason and try again. 3. Once the temperature is lower than 10 degrees centigrade minus, and there is difficulty starting engine, it may be necessary to heat up the coolant and lubricating oil. Never allow the flame to apply to the engine, or rubber seals may be damaged. Section 5. Running. 1. After the engine has started, check the oil pressure to ensure the oil pressure at idle revolution is not lower than 0.1 MPa. The oil pressure in the sensor light should be out. 2. If there are any abnormal or unusual sounds, immediately stop the engine and look for the problems. 3. After the diesel engine starts, cannot immediately accelerate to maximum speed. Run the engine medium speed to allow the engine turn to reach 60 degrees centigrade, especially when the temperature is lower than 0 degrees. Do not rapidly raise or lower the engine speed. 4. Do not leave the engine run at idle speed for 10 minutes. Long time running at idle speed can cause cylinder glazing or damage to the combustion chamber and injection nozzles. 5. When the engine is running, the tractor dashboard indicator should go out. This proves the generator is working normally. Pay attention to the oil pressure, gauge the cooling water temperature. The engine operating temperature is 95 degrees, and the oil pressure is between 0.3 to 0.5 MPa. Note: in any situation, the idle speed oil pressure must not be lower than 0.1 MPa. At the high speed, it can't be lower than 0.3 MPa. If the oil pressure warning lamp comes on, immediately stop the engine. Attempt to locate and fix the problem. Low oil pressure will cause damage to the crankshaft, connecting rod bearings in a short time. If the internal parts pass 95 degrees, or the temperature indicating lamp is bored, stop the engine and attempt to locate and fix the problems. Running the engine for a long time at a high temperature will cause internal damage to the engine and may cause its disease. Section 6. Stopping. Before stopping the tractor, the transmission should be in the idle gear position. Allow the engine speed to gradually pull stop drain to fall to idle. When the water temperature drops to 70 degrees, stop draining after the engine stops. Remove the key. Do not stop the engine at excessively high engine temperature in order to prevent the coolant from boiling. When the ambient temperature is lower than 5 degrees, if antifreeze is not being used, drain all the lubricating oil to prevent cracking as a result of freezing to the cylinder block and the radiator and the water pump. There are 3 places to let the water out: one on the cylinder block, one on the radiator, and the other on the water tank. Section 7. Operation and Maintenance. 1. Valve clearance adjustment. The intake valve clearance is 0.3 to 0.4 millimeters, and exhaust valve clearance is 0.4 to 0.5 millimeters. Rotate the flywheel by hand and observe the stop mark on flywheel. When 0 on the sky position of the flywheel, align with the flywheel mark. Stop rotating and check that the first cylinder intake and exhaust valves are in the closed position at the same time. The second cylinder exhaust valve should be open. If the first cylinder is at the stop point, the fourth cylinder will also be at the stop point. If 6 cylinders engines, the first and 6th cylinder will be at the stop point. When the first cylinder is at the stop point, adjust the valve clearance in order from the front of the engine in the order of 1, 2, 3, 6. For 6-cylinder engine, the order is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 10. When the first adjustment is complete, turn crankshaft by 360 degrees, adjusting the following valves in order of 4, 5, 7, 8. For 6-cylinder engine, the order is 4, 5, 8, 9, 11, and 12. For 2-cylinder engines, adjust to 1, 2, and 4. For 3-cylinder engines, adjust to 1, 2, 4, and 5. For 2-cylinder engines, adjust to 3. For 3-cylinder engines, adjust to 3 and 6. 2. Air filter, fuel oil filter, lubricating oil filter maintenance and replacement. 1. Air filter. 1. Oil bath filter. Every 50 to 200 hours, clean the oil pan with clean diesel fuel. Every 600 to 1000 working hours, replace the filter completely and clean the element with clean diesel fuel. Always add new oil after cleaning. When working in dusty farm conditions, frequently clean the dust for the filter healthy. Pay attention to all the filter connections to ensure there are no air leaks or dust may enter into the air intake system and cause wear, decreasing engine efficiency. Drain paper air filter. Depending on the working conditions, clean the filter and remove dust regularly for the filter healthy. In dusty working conditions, the filter should be cleaned every day. Handle the filter gently. Tap the filter using the brush or compressed air. Never use water, gasoline, or diesel fuel to clean the paper element. Replace the element every 1000 hours and ensure the ceiling runs doesn't fall. 2. Diesel fuel oil filters maintenance. 1. One-time use filter element must be replaced every 400 hours or 20,000 kilometers. Do not reuse the filter. In order to guarantee correct filtration before installing the new filter element, fill the filter with clean fuel oil, lubricating the seal with a little clean machine oil. Fix it back tightly into place. The water drain valve must be frequently opened to remove at any impurity. 2. The fuel oil filter. Every 200 working hours, clean the filter element. Every 1000 working hours, replace the filter element. When installing the element, pay attention to the rubber sealing ring fixed into the corresponding slot. Check the water ball at the base of the filter. Water in the filter ball should be drained regularly to move any impurities. 3. The lubricating oil filter maintenance. The filter element must be replaced every 200 hours or 1000 kilometers. Do not reuse the filter. Replace the filter at each engine oil change. Smear on the filter seal collar. Screw on the new filter element, being careful not to over-tighten because of the possibility of damage to the seal collar and thread. Remove the paper element filter every 50 working hours and clean with diesel fuel oil. Replace the filter element every 250 hours. Carefully inspect the filter after replacement to ensure there are no leaks. 3. The radiator, water pump, and V-belt maintenance. The radiator. Regularly clean up the dust or dirt on the radiator surface. Check the water temperature is below 95 degrees centigrade while the engine is running. Check the water temperature indicating lamp is working and goes well when the engine is running. Attention please, never remove the radiator when the engine is hot or severe skull injuries may occur. 2. Water pump and V-belt. Regularly inspect the water pump overflow hole. If there is water escaping out of the water flow hole, it means the seal of the pump has failed. Properly replace the water pump. Long-time leaks will destroy the pump bearings and cause the pump shaft to break. Frequently inspect the fan. V-belt for correct tension. If the V-belt is too loose, it will greatly affect the water pump operation, the fan speed, and cause the water temperature to rise. A loose V-belt will also affect the generator output. If the V-belt is too tight, it will cause the excess load and the generator bearings. The V-belt is also likely to break. The belt is correctly tightened if when 30 Newton is applied to depress the belt can be depressed to 10 to 15 millimeters. To adjust the fan belt, undo the lock screw on the adjusting arm and tighten or loosen the belt. Tighten the locking screw when the adjustment is completed. Section 8. Diesel engine running in. New or recently overhauled engines should be properly running for 60 hours to extend the engine life. After the engine running period has been completed, a complete check of the engine should be carried out. Replace all the engine or lubrication oil. Replace the oil filter. Check the valve clearances. Always drain the lubricating oil while the engine is hot. Remember the engine oil temperature reaches 50 or 60 degrees centigrade. Loosen the sample plug and remove it. Drain the oil into a suitable container for correct disposal. Clean any metal fragrance from the sample plug metal collector. Replace the sample plug and fill the engine with clean lubricating oil. Replace the lubrication oil filter. Section 9. Common breakdowns, faults, and troubleshooting. 1. The engine starting. 3 things are essential to starting: tightening, starting revolutions or engine speed, sufficient compression to fuel, sufficient intake air, correct auto-immunization, and injection of fuel oil. If the air temperature is above 5 degrees centigrade, the engine should be started smoothly within 5 seconds. If after repeated the attempt the engine failed to start, then follow the following checks. Trouble cause. 1. Fuel block. Remedy: clean the fuel lines. 2. Check for air in the fuel lines. Remedy: open air drain plug of the pump until all the bubbles come out. 3. Engine failed to rotate. Remedy: check the battery voltage level and electrical connections. 4. Diesel pump rack is stuck in the idle position. Remedy: change the rack. 5. Fuel auto-immunization is insufficient. Remedy: clean or replace the injector nozzles. 6. Supply pump fuels in delivering fuel. Remedy: check for leaks in the fuel lines and replace the fuel pump. 2. Abnormal exhaust smoke. Diesel engine exhaust should be light gray, moving to only a deep gray on a heavy load. If the exhaust is blue when the load is higher at a short time, the smoke is only dark gray. When the exhaust smoke is blue, white, or black, then the exhaust is abnormal and fault exists. 1. The main reason for blue smoke. Trouble cause. 1. Too much oil then enter into the cylinder. Remedy: drain excess oil from the sump. 2. Valve seal stem is worn. Remedy: replace all the valve stem seals. 3. Too much clearance between the cylinder liner and the piston rings. Remedy: replace the cylinder liner and the piston rings. 2. If the exhaust smoke is white. Trouble cause. 1. Water in the diesel fuel. Remedy: replace the diesel fuel. 2. The diesel engine temperature is low or the air temperature is low. Remedy: this problem will disappear when the engine reaches the normal operating temperature. 3. The cylinder head gas is damaged. Remedy: replace the cylinder washer. 4. Oil auto-immunization is bad. Remedy: clean the journal nozzle, adjust the injection pressure. 3. The main reason for black smoke. Trouble cause. 1. The engine is overloaded and fuel oil supply. Remedy: reduce the load, adjust the engine speed control system. 2. The diesel fuel quality is too bad. Remedy: choose quality oil. 3. Air filter blocked. Remedy: clean the air filter. 4. Wrong valve clearances. Remedy: adjust the valve clearances. 3. Engine speed runs out of control. The engine speed exceeds the maximum revolutions. This can cause drain damage, and the engine must be shut down immediately. Shut off the fuel supply and the intake air supply. Troubleshooting. Cause. 1. Diesel fuel rack stuck in the maximum position. Solution: repair or replace the fuel rack. 2. Too much lubricating oil in speed regulator pump. Solution: check lubricating oil level and drain out excessive oil. 4. Engine temperature is too high. Cause. 1. Engine is overloaded. Solution: reduce the workload. 2. Radiator is blocked. Solution: clean the cooling radiator. 3. Fan belt is too loose. Solution: adjust the fan belt. 4. Insufficient water in the radiator. Solution: check for leaks. 5. The lubricating oil level increases. Cause. 1. One or several cylinder doesn't work. Solution: check the fuel optimizer. Clean and adjust. 2. Forced lubrication plunger or fuel pump is worn. Solution: replace the plunger. 3. Cracks in the cylinder liners. Solution: replace the cylinder liners. 4. Water seal rings are worn. Solution: replace all the water seal rings. 6. Lubricating oil pressure is too low. First, check the pressure limiting valve situated above the oil filter. If this does not restore the pressure, check the following. Cause. 1. The sample oil is too low. Solution: top up the lubricating oil. 2. Diesel fuel and water mixed into the oil. Viscosity. Solution: change the lubricating oil and the filter. 3. Oil filter is blocked. Solution: replace or clean oil filter. 4. Pressure sensor plug is damaged. Solution: replace the sensor. 7. The engine suddenly stops. Cause. 1. No fuel. Solution: check the fuel tank and expel air from the fuel lines. 2. Water in the fuel. Solution: drain the fuel tank and replace fuel with clean fuel. 3. Fuel lines are blocked. Solution: check and clean all the fuel lines. 4. The diesel plunger is damaged. Solution: clean or replace it. 8. Excess engine vibration. Cause: 1. The fuel injection is not uniform. Solution: check and adjust the fuel system. 2. Injection pressure for each cylinder varies. Solution: check and adjust each of the injectors. 3. Fix the bolt loose. Solution: tighten the engine bolts to the correct tension.